With today's horror movies becoming increasingly more realistic, with movies like Strange Darling, Speak No Evil, and Strangers Chapter 2, Universal decides to jump into their way back machine and bring us monsters. With the success of Nosferatu, how will the other monster movies stack up? Well, let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, the subject of today's video is Wolfman. Released January 17th of this year, this movie depicts a struggling family who head out to Oregon to handle a dead family member's business. And as they arrive, all hell breaks loose. Now, I don't really want to spoil this movie. With that being said, the movie is okay. It's not a bad movie, but it's not going to be a standout. This movie is really, for me, was about one thing, because I am not a huge monsterverse person. I don't really like the horror monsters. They don't really scare me. So, with these kind of films, it's more about the atmosphere, the acting, and for this movie in particular, the transformation. And that's what everyone's waiting on. When you watch The Fly, nobody really remembers too much about the other things that happened in the movie. We remember Jeff Goldblum becoming a fly in front of us, which, if you haven't seen that movie, it's disgusting. And that's mostly what I wanted to see here. I wanted to see how they were going to handle the transformation along with the storyline. For the most part, the plot, pretty basic, pretty easy to understand. The atmosphere is very creepy. If you've watched this channel for any length of time, you understand that I don't like being secluded. If you're going to a wooded area where it takes 3 hours to go to the grocery store, you can go ahead and count me out of that one. I ain't going. I'd like to be somewhere where I can walk outside and there's life. There's people walking around, there's buses, trains, taxis, all that stuff. I'm a city kid to my core. Now, being way out in Oregon like they were, I'll pass. When you see this movie, you will see that when they are in the middle of nowhere, they are very far from anyone that can help them. The people that live up there, we typically call them mountain men, because they want no contact with the outside world. And that is a good place to do it, because I know I ain't going up there. And the acting in this film was not the worst I've ever seen. Pretty good, but when you start comparing it to a movie like Nosferatu, it does fall a bit short in that department. The music and everything, pretty typical for a big budget horror movie. We're not getting anything that we haven't seen before. Camera angles, there's a couple of cool ones, especially in the beginning, but now we're going to get more into the meat of the movie. The transformation sequence, I felt, was done pretty well. I felt as if they could have gone a little further with it. When you change from one to the other, from a human into a werewolf, there should be more of a noticeable change. And yes, there is, but I feel like they stopped somewhere to leave some humanity. This movie is really about losing humanity. Okay? Our main character, the person who turns into the wolf, unfortunately is more aware of what's going on than has previously been shown in these types of films. Typically, when you do someone transforming into someone, whether it's human to zombie or anything outside of a vampire, which still has all their cognitive functions, they typically forget loved ones and who they were prior to this incident. This one, you're kind of in a ride in your side of your own body. Not quite the sunken place like in Get Out, but more of a passenger with these extreme instincts that are hard or almost impossible to overcome. This is a very sad movie. Once you get into the storyline of it and you kind of see what's happening and what the result is going to be, it's actually kind of sad if you're able to put yourself into the shoes of the people being attacked by this wolf. As far as running out and going to see it, I probably wouldn't rush to see it. While, like I said, it is a pretty good movie, it's not one of the best. There will be far better movies that you should run out and see. This one is definitely a good date night movie, or something if you really like monsters and you really like transformations and stuff like that. You will enjoy this movie. There's no real big gross out moments. There are a couple of jump scares, but they're kind of few and far between. It's not as many as there could have been, because I was kind of low key expecting a jump scare fest, which can be good and bad. But yes, this movie, a lot of heart, a lot of big feelings, with kind of a typical ending. I wasn't overly thrilled with the ending. It kind of just felt like it just ended. But there you go. Have you seen Wolfman? Do you plan on seeing it? What do you think about monster horror movies? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.